me that you understand is that this is not an easy fruit to grow. It is technically a fruit. It takes 1 full year for it to reach maturity on the tree. 1 full year. But then it's hard as a rock when it's on the tree, and it's one of the very few fruits that will not start to soften, to ripen, fully ripen, until you take it off the tree. It can stay on the tree for another year and it'll still be rock hard. You have to pull it off of the tree to start the ripening process. Or you can cool it down to 50 degrees and it will hold at 50 degrees, not ripen, for another year or 2. That's why when you go to the grocery store, you always see these avocados rock hard, you know, because they've just warmed them up to room temperature to start the ripening process, and that takes about a week. Okay, so you get a taste for guacamole. You go to the grocery store, you see the hard avocado there, and what do you think? Well, I'm going to have that taste for guacamole in another week, because it's going to take that long to get really ripe avocados. And there is no way to hurry it along. You've probably heard these things that if you put them in a paper sack, that it'll speed up the ripening of the avocado just a little bit. Well, it will. It will, about 20 or 30 minutes. Okay, so if you've got a full week's worth of ripening and you speed it up 20 or 30 minutes, it's not really going to make that much difference. So put them at room temperature, let them ripen, or what I suggest everybody do is you go to a Mexican grocery store. They always have them ripe, and they're always cheaper than they are at the other markets where they have more waste and everything, because the people coming in there, they want to buy avocados, they want to use them, and they're going to buy a lot of them. Now, how do you know when an avocado is ripe for making guacamole? Because you can be sort of ripe, and you can maybe make slices or dices out of it, but if you want to make it into guacamole, it's got to be really ripe. Not mushy, but really ripe. It's this end. You press on the bulbous end, the large end of it, and if it has give there, you know that that's going to be a ripe enough avocado to make guacamole, because it starts ripening from the pointy end down. Okay? Now, let's go into the making and the seasoning of this. So we've chosen a really good avocado here to work with. So I'm going to cut, well, first of all, I have to see what I laid this thing over here. There's this little thing that I call the button end here. When you purchase it, you want that to be in there, because if it's not there, it allows air to get in the top of it, and air and avocado equals brown, okay? Because avocado oxidizes fast, so you want to make sure that it's all covered up with that. But then that's going to be like the first thing that you do is to pull that out, because that's going to get somebody to buy the guacamole. So you pitch that, because you're ready to make your guacamole now. You're going to cut around the pit, and you're going to turn the 2 sides apart like that. One side will keep the pit in it, and you'll want to get that out of there. That's the prep cook way of getting the pit out of the avocado. Now, I've done it so many thousands of times in my life that it doesn't really it seems like second nature to take this really sharp knife and plunge it directly toward the palm of my hand. Of course, there is a pit in between there, but if you're not so cavalier as I am, you might want to use perhaps a spoon or something like that to get that pit out of there. Now, these are Haas Avocados. It's a hybrid version of an avocado that combines 2 of the subspecies of avocado together. There's the 3 main kinds of avocados. The ones that are native to the Caribbean, and if you've ever been to Florida and had an avocado there, they're big and round, and they don't have much oil content to them, which might seem nice because you think, oh, lower fat, etc., etc. Except when you start to mash them, they won't become creamy because they don't have the right makeup for that. Then there's another variety that is native to Mexico, and a third variety that's native to Guatemala. Well, these avocados, these Haas avocados, they are a cross between the Guatemalan version and the Mexican version. Guatemalan for keeping qualities, and Mexican for flavor qualities. Now,